Hi, everyone. Jessica Paquette joined here with Bobby Martel. Now, Bobby is a jocks agent here at Parks. We're outside the racing office today. Tell me, what is the role of a jocks agent?
My main job is to keep the riders on horses that are competitive but also safe. Like, I want to keep them on horses that act well.
Do you then feel sort of responsible if something is ever to happen onto the racetrack? And what do you do in those instances?
It's a nightmare sometimes when something happens during a race and I can't find out right away how the jock is. And not just my jocks. Like, I've ridden, and a lot of the jockeys here, mostly all of them, are friends of mine, even though I don't work for them or with them. So when anything happens out there, you kind of there's always a connection, and it always affects you somehow.
Now, tell me about your riding career, how long you rode, and what made you want to transition to be a jocks agent?
My riding career was short-lived. I had a contract with Marty Fallon in early 90s, and I wasn't very good. And I get picked on that all the day. They said I should have just done this in the beginning instead of riding, but I gave it a shot. I won 92 races in my career, which a lot of jockeys now do that in a month. But it was about a 5-year career, and I started doing this after an injury, and I got lucky, and I guess it just was what I was meant to do.
And what did you learn being a jockey that has helped you as you're bringing riders along?
I guess my main thing is sometimes the jocks feel a little disappointed or depressed after a bad race or something, and I remind them that they're professional athletes, and every day a professional athlete doesn't have his best day, and there's ups and downs in this business, probably more than any business, as you know. If you win at 15%, that's great, where at any other thing you do, if you'd be fired. And it's just one of those things that you just got to go to work with the attitude that you're going to have a great day, and when it works out, great, and if it doesn't, there's always tomorrow.
Now, take me through a typical day in your life as a jocks agent.
I usually get here right as the track opens, depends on the schedule. Right now it's 7 o'clock, and I'll meet the jocks here. We'll go over our schedule the night before so they're not surprised by anything. And I will try to walk the barns ahead of them, especially if we have a real busy schedule, to make sure the horse that they have next is ready. So you have one little hiccup where the one's not ready at 8:20, and now your 8:40 horse gets pushed behind, and it. So I just kind of meet them here every day and just make sure that everything's going as planned.
And then on a day we take entries. What is your role during that?
After morning work, check with all the trainers that I have marked in the condition book to see what races we should have going in for the day. Check with them, make sure we're still using them, and then we head to the draw, and hopefully I pick the right horse.
Now, how many riders does a jocks agent typically have at one time?
In Pennsylvania, you're allowed 2. A lot of other agents at different places have more than that. I'm very comfortable with 2. I think that that's a full plate in itself, having 2 riders, and to give both of them equal and the best that you can do. I think that 2 riders is plenty.
Now, tell me about your relationship with Bobby and what brought you to use him as your agent.
Yeah, Bobby's been great. He was my dad's agent, and he's been one of my dad's best friends for a very long time. So when I made the move down here, he was the guy that, I called to help me out.
And you are an apprentice, still learning a lot out on the racetrack. Does he offer any advice after races? Do you go through, watch tape together? How does that look? How does that work?
Yeah, we'll go through the races after I ride, and he'll say, maybe you could have done this, or great ride. It's just a lot of things go into it.
And Bobby also has Frankie's book. So what's it like getting to learn from such an experienced veteran rider here at Parks as the 2 of you are under Bobby's wing?
It's great. Frankie's a very good rider, and any advice he has for me, I always take it because he's very, very good.
You've had a very long relationship with Bobby. Tell me about that. I mean, it's lasted longer than some marriages.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been together pretty much since I was 16, 20 years. I used to live with him, and I watched his kids grow up, so it's more of a family work thing with me and Bobby. It's been pretty cool.
And tell me, what do you rely on a jocks agent to do, kind of beyond the basic getting you mounts during a racing day, for example?
So I rely on them to go to the draw, make sure they, maybe they can see double calls or hear double calls coming out and pick up extra mounts. But also if I'm doing one thing at one end of the track, he could be at the other hustling and working out business for me.